guys? We are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
So today we're doing Chloraseptic.
Throat spray.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember this song literally because I think of the throat spray. We literally have it. Works pretty well. This is not an ad, but yeah, that's why I know this song.
Yeah, so this is actually a interesting, unique song because we're doing Revival. This is track number 3 off of Revival. This is a good song. However, after the album was out for a bit, he released a remix with 2 Chainz and Fresher, who's the guy who sings the hook. They each have a verse on that. And the remix got like very popular, particularly on like YouTube and stuff. Like people are like, "Oh my God, did you hear this?" So this is the original, which
Yeah.
I'm way more familiar with the remix because that's the one I listened to.
I don't know if I am. I
Yes.
remember you showing me this
Yeah, when the album
album.
came out,
Yeah.
I showed you every song briefly. But yeah, so I do not listen to this as much as I listen to the remix, even though this version's great. So it'll be interesting. I may,
Yeah, like not remember.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. So either
All
way,
right.
we're gonna listen and break it down like we normally do.
Sounds good. And this video is sponsored by Carnivore Snacks. Today we have the pork loin, and it is so good, guys. Like, this is my third bag. I haven't finished everything yet, but starting the pork loin today, and it's only pasture raised and like free range, and it's literally 2 ingredients. It is pastured pork loin and Redmond real salt. It's like a dried meat snack. I'll show you what it looks like. Come on. Come on. Like that. It looks kind of like a piece of bacon.
Mhm.
And like, it is so good and crunchy. And it like melts in your it like melts in your mouth. Sorry. It's hard to do this while promoting it.
Eating.
Yeah. Because I just want to leave and finish the bag right now. Oh my God. But literally amazing, insanely delicious, and I like can't stop eating it. I definitely recommend it, and you can use our promo code WithSmith for 15% off your order, and the link is in the description below as well. Literally amazing. Like, I think Joe Rogan eats these,
Maybe.
from what you've shown me, and I can totally tell why. You could also use this promo code for 10. Oh my God, sorry. I'm trying to swallow and talk and not like gross you guys out. Just, okay. You can also use this promo code for 10% off your order and 10% off subscriptions with Chomps. Chomps is beef jerky. So Carnivore Snacks is like a dry beef snack, and Chomps is a beef jerky snack. And it is so good, so moist, delicious, a little salty, and free range, just like Carnivore Snacks is, or grass fed, depending on the source of meat. It only has ingredients that you can understand and pronounce. So I highly recommend it. Absolutely delicious. Best beef jerky ever. And again, use this coupon code for 10% off all orders and an additional 10% off subscriptions. And you can use this same coupon code for SeatGeek. It's a ticket website where you can buy tickets for shows and all different types of things. And we've used it before. Excellent, seamless experience, all electronic, no paper tickets. Like, it's great. Highly recommend it. You will save $20 off your very first purchase, and the link for that is in the description below. Also, check out our Amazon storefront. The link's in the description below for that. Like and subscribe, follow us on social media, and that's it from me. I'm gonna finish this. It's so good.
Yes.
Mm.
All right. So here we go. Chloraseptic. Oh, you good?
No.
Tied up? There's so many wires.
Such a dysfunctional video today. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right. Here we go. Chloraseptic.
Instinctive nature to bring the anguish to the English language. With this ink you haters get wrote on like a piece of paper. This rap shit got me traveling place to place. You barely leave your house, cause you're always stuck at your pad. It's stationary. Yeah, that's why when I brainstorm, gotta write it out. Write it out. Simon Cowell of Rhyme and Foul. That's why you sound so shook. Why you bound? Notebook got tie around. Your throat hook, get inside your mouth. Go. It's what it's like when the mic is out. Cause I'm tearing at your flesh with it. Till your larynx and neck is slit. With these lyrics, weapons expert with. Like hair extensions, extra clips. And you're scared to effing death of it. Bitch, you're staring at a legend that in a pair of Skechers sweatshirt ripped. In hoodie black. Should be strapped to a chair or stretcher. Electrics wear on every record, bitch. Fingers so high in the air, I bet your senses flip. Like a barometric pressure switch. Caring less who I've been with this. I'm at your neck like pest dispense. Go ahead, spit your flow, bitch.
I'm at your throat like Chloraseptic. And you got strep, I'm too complex with. This shit I wrote is on some next shit. I'm at your throat, I'm feeling reckless.
And I'll take 100 of you. 100 of you. Boop, all at once like I had nothing to lose. What can I do? My appetite for destruction is loose. And all at once is to have something to chew.
This song's so fun.
Yes.
I
So
forgot how fun it was. Sorry, I have the hiccups. I really need to stop eating that, but you guys just need to witness how good it is.
yes. So yesterday I pointed out how in Believe he was kind of rapping in the style of the modern day rappers. You were like, I don't really hear it.
I hear it here.
So I was about to say, this song, it's blatant. Like everything, the way he's rhyming, you know what I mean, on the beat, like the triplet flow, and then how he's breaking it up. He's like literally copying them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like it though.
So it starts off right away. Eminem goes into the first verse. There's no like intro or anything like that. So he comes in, he says, it's instinctive nature to bring the anguish to the English language. With this ink you haters get wrote on like a piece of paper. So he's literally just saying his nature instinctively is to bring anguish to the English language. So he's murdering words. He's a rapper, right?
Yeah.
And then he says, with this ink you get wrote on like a piece of paper. So it's a play on like, oh, if you ride on your haters, you know what I mean? Like RIDE.
But then he's like WROTE.
Yeah, road sounds like wrote. So literally writing. Then he says, this rap shit got me traveling place to place. You barely leave your house because you're always stuck at your pad. It's stationary.
It's funny because it's like, like when like a legal pad, like the paper's like stuck. You gotta rip it off. That's cool.
Well, yeah, that's called stationary too, the paper.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, so when he says stationary, I was thinking of like, you have like paper that's got like your little seal on it. Usually I just see those as like single loose leaf. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
No, so it's a double meaning here. So
No, I
the
know.
pad is like called stationary.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, it's literally it's not moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he goes from I'm traveling place to place, right? And you never leave your house. Okay, so that's self-explanatory because you're always stuck at your pad. So pad is another name for a house. But then he does the other meaning of pad, and then he says stationary,
Yeah.
which
No, I
is
get that.
the pad part, but then also not leaving the house. So it's crazy. He flips it like twice there, which is really cool.
It's just funny because I always like whenever I think of stationery, I think of like the items you have to write letters with.
Yeah.
Anytime I've seen it, it doesn't come in a pad, but that's just me.
Well, it's like stationary supplies. You know what I mean? And then he continues. He says, yeah, that's why when I brainstorm, got to write it out. So the write it out goes back with the pen and the pad, the stationery,
Yeah.
all that. Then he says, Simon Cowell of Rhyme and Foul. So, Simon Cowell is known for like being a dick.
Yeah, of course.
And he says, that's why you sound so shook. Wire bound notebook got tied around your throat, hooking inside your mouth, go, so he actually made that sound. So you're literally getting strangled with his rhyme book effectively. You know what I mean?
Like hook it inside your mouth. That just makes me think of like a fish.
Yeah, for sure. And then he says, that's what it's like when the mic is out because I'm tearing at your flesh with it. So he changes his pattern of delivering the lines here. I'm tearing at your flesh with it to your larynx and neck. It's sick how he delivers it. So I'm tearing at your flesh with it till your larynx and neck are split. So that's wild.
Yeah.
He says, with these lyrics, weapons, expert with, like hair extensions, extra clips. So,
So like extra guns.
the ammo, yeah, for sure.
But then I don't know if men know this, but like hair extensions, like the at-home ones, sometimes it's like a long one that you just wrap around the back of your head and it's got like 8-9 clips in it.
You clip it in, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he continues, he says, and you're scared to effing death of it. Bitch, you're staring at a legend that. So he says that, the way he says the word, it rhymes. So, but it's a legend that in a pair of Skechers, sweatshirt ripped, and hoodie black, should be strapped to a chair or stretcher, electric, swear on every record, bitch. So he's saying you're looking at a legend, that, and then he does this whole long scheme to get to should be strapped to a chair or so an electric chair or stretcher, right? And then he's just saying he's in a pair of Skechers with the ripped sweatshirt. It's funny. So yes, swear on every record, bitch, which, he's known to do. Finger so high in the air, I bet your senses flip like a barometric pressure switch. So that's a cool line. So he's got his finger so high in the air that your senses, so you're like disoriented.
Yeah.
And he says like a barometric pressure switch, which
No, that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then he says, caring less who I offend with this. I'm at your neck like Pez dispense.
I love that.
Yeah,
I used to
that's
love
cool.
Pez when I was younger.
Yeah, so I mean, they were fun. The candy themselves are like not that great.
The strawberry ones were awesome.
So some of them, yeah, that's
The
true.
pink ones, those are the best.
Yeah.
The grape ones were pretty good too. The yellow and the orange, no.
Which reminded me like Smarties, which were like, eh.
Nah, they're a little different.
Yeah.
Little different.
So yes, I'm at your neck like Pez dispense. Is it dispensers? I don't remember.
It sounds like he does say dispense.
He might say dispense. He says, go ahead, spit your flow, bitch. So I don't know if the spit your flow is kind of like how the Pez dispenser spits its thing out. I don't know if there's a connection there or not, but
maybe. It does. I mean, you open its neck and it like spits it out more. It doesn't actually drop it though.
Yeah. So then we get to the chorus, which is fresher. And he says, I'm at your throat like chloraseptic, septic, and you got strep. I'm too complex with. The shit I wrote is on some next shit. I'm at your throat. I'm feeling reckless. Yeah. So this is kind of a double meaning. So
yeah.
So we know like chloraseptic we discussed as the throat spray.
Yeah, it's usually we have a cherry red one. I don't know if they're all like that, but if you've ever used it, it works, but it's like
it numbs.
You don't want to use it.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
So they're saying we're coming at your necks, literally, like chloraseptic does. It's like antiseptic. And then he says, "Yeah, you got strep. I'm too complex with." Now I did see that the whole theme of the chloraseptic and this chorus is kind of a shot at mumble rappers. The way that they mumble through words, they need like their throat cleared out or whatever, so they can actually enunciate.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a little interesting tidbit. Then yeah, I'm feeling reckless. All right, then there's this post-chorus, they call it. And I'll take it 100 of you, all at once, like I had nothing to lose. What can I do? My appetite for destruction is loose, and all it wants is to have something to chew.
So he's like coming at them.
Yes, so he's rapping at them in their flow, these people that rap like this.
It's so funny.
Making fun of them. Like, again, so it's like, I can do this, I just choose not to, but I can do it better than you.
Yeah.
But I can actually also rap, like, for real, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right, and this is where we left off, so we will pick it up.
Just to have something to choose.
Yeah. And still conjoined it. The hip with hop, still on point and poignant. Skilled as Floyd is, and it's filled, and still no filter, boy. I'll put you in your place, like a realtor, boy. You still ain't in the building, boy. I will destroy shit, even as I build it. Get the drill bit, pen is filled with poison, which is the source, easy to still pinpoint it. Like what? Like a real thin joint, it what? Comes from quilted northern, and what? In a built-in toilet, yeah. Bitch, I told you I'm a dog. I wouldn't heal with ointment. Way I'm kicking these fairies' tales to write a children's storybook. Yeah. Million voices in my head, but still get a little bit of thrill and some real enjoyment. Off what? Off the feel of going in, like your bitch when she gives me brain. Like she thinks I'm dumb. Grabs the crown of my dick and blows me to kingdom come. Till I feel anointed. She makes iller noises when she's with me. Must be from the Windy City, huh? Pretty apparent, she's a MILF when blowing it. cause I condor and do. Ripping the condom in two. Woo! Dick is a bargain in two. Now I'm getting blue like Klonopin. Rude Jew. I go there. You wouldn't? Well, I still have a few views in common with you. Just not YouTube.
I'm at your throat like Chloraseptic. And you got strep, I'm too complex with. This shit I wrote is on some next shit. I'm at your throat, I'm feeling reckless.
You're a has-been.
Okay.
It's so funny. Shouted out YouTube.
Yeah, it's funny in these. So this album and the next one, he really just like goes after YouTube people. It's very funny. Okay,
Like
so
YouTube rappers.
more like commentators and critique people that like shit on him. You know what I mean? It's funny. And like
That's not what
reactors.
we're doing.
That he has the one line. He's like, "What's your talent?" Oh, critiquing my talent, which is very funny. Yeah, it's really funny. He goes in a lot. He's got some good lines. So the second verse, he comes in. He says, "Yeah, haha, it's a little laugh," and he says, "And still conjoined at the hip with hop, still on point and poignant." So conjoined at the hip with hop, so hip hop.
And on point, meaning he's doing what he always does, right? And poignant, like still important.
Yeah, he's saying it good. Then he says, "Skilled as Floyd is," so Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
So he's like undefeated. In this field, and still no filter boy. I'll put you in your place like a realtor boy.
Like in your house.
I love that line.
It's so
In your
nice.
place.
When you buy you.
Yeah, like a realtor will find you a place to live.
Yeah.
And then on that scheme, he says, "You still ain't in the building, boy." So
He has not found his house yet.
yeah, building, realtor, place, all
Yeah.
that. Then he says, "I will destroy shit even as I build it." So he's gonna mess shit up even as he's, building. So the build obviously ties in with building, all that. And then on the building scheme, he says, "Get the drill bit," which, you use drill bits, to like build shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pen is filled with poison,
Nice.
which is the source. Easy to still pinpoint it. So the pinpoint, it kind of goes back to the on point back there. You know what I mean? Back here,
Yeah.
still on point. Get the drill bit. Which is the source, easy to still pinpoint it. And then so he does this ad lib and then he answers his own thing, which is very funny. It says, "Like what? Like a real thin joint, what? Comes on quilted northern and what? In a built-in toilet." So do you pick up what he's saying here? I didn't get this for a
Which
while.
is the source, easy to still pinpoint it. Like what? Like a real thin joint. It comes on quilted northern in a built-in toilet.
Yeah.
A thin joint? Like how you rip apart toilet paper, that little dotted line?
Okay.
Is that the joint?
So okay, so there's two things going on here. So he's gonna still pinpoint it. So the pinpoint ties in with real thin joint, right?
It rhymes, but I don't know how they relate.
Well, he's saying a pinpoint, like a real thin joint. Like if you rolled a joint so thin, it'd be like
it
a
would be like a
pinpoint,
pen.
a pinpoint,
Yeah.
right? But that's a separate scheme. So just these three lines, like a real thin joint.
Oh, the commercials for Quilted Northern, they always drop a pin onto it, right? And then it like bounces.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But so okay,
Right?
he's saying on a roll here, like a
On
real
a
thin.
roll?
Yeah, so like a real thin joint. It comes on quilted northern in a built-in toilet. You get it?
Okay. Okay. I could have sworn they had like the pin thing. Making that up.
I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Someone had that.
But
I
yes.
don't know, but now I get it.
So he's saying he's on a roll. You roll a joint and then quilted northern, a built-in toilet, a roll of toilet paper.
Yes.
So he's pretty much saying he's on a roll.
Okay.
And then he continues, "Yeah, bitch, I told you I'm a dog. Woof. I wouldn't heal with ointment," which I love that line.
Nice. So he's not going to change.
Yes, and then heal, obviously, you bring a dog to heal, meaning they'll obey your commands, but then heal as if with ointment, like a cut or something.
Yes.
And he says, "The way I'm kicking these fairies' tails." I love that line.
So then tails, dog.
Yes, and then it's a play on fairy tale. It's usually fairy tales, but he's saying fairies' tails, so like their butts. And then he says, "Should write a children's storybook, fairy tales." Yeah. Million voices in my head, but still get a little bit of thrill and some real enjoyment, and then enjoyment. And then he says, "Off what? off the feel of going in, like your bitch when she gives me brain, like she thinks I'm dumb, grabs the crown of my dick and blows me to kingdom come. So yeah, he gets the thrill of rapping still.
Yeah.
And then the scheme, she gives me brain like she thinks I'm dumb. So obviously if he was dumb, he would need a brain. And then blows me to kingdom come, obviously, you know. And then the come part is actually play on the blowjob, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then he says, till I feel anointed, which goes back to kingdom, right? So this is a subtle thing here I really like too. He says, she makes iller noises when she's with me. She must be from the Windy City. Do you get that?
Iller?
So she makes iller noises, meaning like, oh, she makes a lot of noises and they're ill, right? But Illinois sounds like
Illinois.
and then the
Chicago.
and Windy City is Chicago. Yeah, exactly. So it's
okay. So I wasn't hearing it right.
Well, you didn't know what I was referring to even.
Well, but like it says iller noises, so like it wasn't hitting my ear right.
Yeah, well, he is saying iller noises. Do you know what I mean? Because he's going back to the the sex little thing there.
Yeah.
And then she must be from the Windy City.
No, I get that, but I wasn't hearing it right. Like I said.
Yeah, I know. And then the Windy City goes back with the blowing before.
Oh yeah, because the wind blows.
So this whole scheme connects to there. It's really cool. And then he says, pretty apparent. She's a MILF when blowing me. So it's like, okay, what's he talking about here? He says, because I conned her into ripping the condom in two. Woo. Dick is a bargaining tool. So this is very funny. She's a MILF because he ripped the condom in two.
Oh, so she's pregnant. Oh my God.
Which is so random.
Oh my God.
Yes. Then he says, dick is a bargaining tool. So bargaining tool. Now I'm getting blue, just like Klonopins. Rude Jude. So some Klonopins are blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones with the K, like
the cutout
carved out in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're both in recovery. That's why we know that we're not like currently crazy drug addicts.
No.
But was very familiar with those back in the day.
Yes. And then he says Rude Jude. So Rude Jude, we discussed this he mentioned him in another song, but he's like a DJ. He has a radio show. He actually has a show on Shade 45. But remember in Drug Ballad, in third grade, all I used to do was sniff glue through a tube and play Rubik's Cube, scheming on the first chick. He says, I'm as rude as Jude. So,
I thought that was just a saying. I remember saying that when we did the reaction. I didn't know he was referring to a person.
Yeah, to play on his name. So apparently the reason he mentions this, I'm getting blue like Klonopins, Rude Jude. Apparently he spoke about or something, or no, he wrote like a book or something, and then he mentioned something about loving getting blown or something. So that's why he's referencing him.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he says, I go there, you wouldn't. Well, I still have a few views in common with you, just not YouTube, so it's funny. He's like, I go there, you wouldn't. So I'm going to say the shit that you're not going to. And he's like, yeah, we still have a few views that we both share, just not YouTube.
Yeah, like more people watch Eminem's videos than whoever he's dissing.
Yes. And I think he's also saying that he doesn't watch YouTube. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like a double thing. You know what I'm saying?
But didn't you tell me he does?
So he admitted that because he responds to the shit people say on YouTube, but he did say he
responds to people's comments?
So in his songs.
Okay.
He'll take like critiques he sees online and mention them in songs. But yeah, he was doing an interview with who am I thinking of? Oh, Crooked Eye. From Slaughterhouse, and he said he would watch like he'll put something new out and he'll like to see like people freaking out over like the schemes and stuff.
So funny.
Yeah. All right, and then it just goes back into the chorus, and then we will pick it up and finish out the song here.
Okay.
You're a has-been. That has been the case since back when you last went and threw your hat in the race. You've been trash. Stick your raps in a trash bin or end up in my next rhyme. You're a fuck boy, so next time it's gonna be heads flying like Des Bryant with a Tech 9 against Rex Ryan. Now watch me set it like correct time, or you get a sloppy seconds like a time. Next eye, clock rejects into the next live. Talking reckless, but it's just my strongest suit that you can get my Colombian necktie. Prostitute just climbing the Humvee and let's ride. While you hitching at night, I put it into your life. Sex crime, kidding aside, insidious vibe. Girl, you know you got the prettiest eyes. But all you're getting is bride. Any of your ladders try to get you inside, then we gon' end up spending the night. And I'm skinning you hot like an Indian tribe. What kind of nut drives her? Budweiser truck binds her. Slut tries to surprise her. Cuffs ties her. Up binds her. Cut slices her twice. But the MacGyver must just like it. Rough fuck right in her vagina. Blood flies up under geyser like a geyser.
Music, please. Music.
Enthusiast to the roofie. Goal is to get a floozy inside that jacuzzi and have a Lucy. Goosey is with an Uzi. See, but I am the rap. What blue jeans mean to Bruce Springsteen? Glued we be. I'm true TV. You too PG. I'm Schoolie D. You Spoony G. Notice there, just notice there are no similarities that we share. Besides the fact we breathe air. Happily married. To rap it, I'm glad that we buried the hatchet and patch it up. Now I'm back to ratchet up my attack and I'll match a motherfucking dog like
Chloraseptic. And you got strep, I'm too complex with. This shit I wrote is on some next shit. I'm at your throat, I'm feeling reckless.
And I'll take 100 of you. 100 of you. All at once like I had nothing to lose. What can I do? My appetite for destruction is loose. And all at once is to have something to chew.
Okay. So that third verse is so crazy. It just
Yeah,
goes
there's
off.
so much going
It like
on.
goes off the rails into like serial killer shit like so quick.
Mhm.
So yeah, there is a reference here. I'm actually probably gonna need to see if I have the lyrics up on Genius. I'm gonna have to see. There's a part later in the verse that I don't. So I looked it up at one point. I don't remember exactly when he's talking about those other rappers. So we'll see. So he comes in third verse. He says, "You're a has-been. That has been the case since back when you last went and threw your hat in the race." So that's self-explanatory. You've always been a has-been. You've been trash, bitch. Stick your raps in the trash bin or end up in my next rhyme. So you can't rap, put them in the garbage.
So just stop or I'm gonna keep
Yes.
shit talking you.
And he says, "You're a fuck boy. So next time it's going to be heads flying like Des Bryant." So he actually continues the scheme here. With a Tech 9 against Rex Ryan. Yeah. Okay, so Des Bryant is a football player on the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
And Rex Ryan is a football coach. He coached the Jets for a while and then maybe the Bills. So he's saying there's going to be heads flying like Des Bryant with a Tech 9 against Rex Ryan. So he's just going wild, crazy, killing people. You know what I mean?
Is that also like a double entendre, like Tech 9?
Maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this song is taking shots at the mumble rappers, and Tech 9 is the opposite. I mean, he raps so fast you might not understand him,
Yeah.
but he's saying words. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it could be. And then he says, "Now watch me set it like correct time. All you get is sloppy seconds like a Timex. I clock rejects into the next life." Okay.
So a
there's
Timex is like a type of watch.
yes. So there's
But
a
why sloppy?
okay. So watch me set it like okay. So watch and then set
Mhm.
it right. So if you're like setting it off, that's the phrase. But watch me set it like correct
put the
time.
right time in the watch.
Yes. So yeah, but watch me set it, meaning like, like setting it off. You know
Yeah,
what
like,
whatever
do
it is
it.
at the table, whatever. So yeah, so the correct time. So there's 3 time related references. And then he says, "Oh, you get a sloppy seconds like a Timex." Okay, so the seconds obviously ties in. So sloppy seconds is the phrase. It's like, "Oh, you have it second after
Yeah,
somebody else had
yeah.
it." So he's saying sloppy seconds in terms of like a Timex is the cheap watch that it's
Okay,
not
right.
it doesn't keep time very well,
Yeah,
right?
okay, I get
So it gets
that.
like stuck or whatever.
Interesting.
So yeah, he's like he's gonna set it and he's gonna do it first, and all you're gonna be able to do is come after him, right? So that's the sloppy seconds. That's the double meaning there. And then he says, "I clock rejects into the next life." So
So another time.
yeah, it's the clock, Timex, seconds, time, watch, set it. It's like a lot.
And then also like into the next life, that's like time as well.
Oh yeah, that's
So
a
it
good
kind
point.
of, yeah,
That
if you
is
look at it as just like a
interesting.
time scheme
Yeah.
and not like a watch clock scheme. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And then obviously clock rejects,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just like
yeah.
kidding. And then he says, "Talking reckless, but it's just my strongest suit, but you can get my Colombian necktie."
Which is when they rip your tongue out and then tie it around your neck, right?
No, I thought it was just decapitation. That's like they take your head off.
The which is the one when they tie your tongue around your neck.
I don't know.
So not a thing.
I don't know.
I think I
Maybe.
make things up. I make things up a lot.
I don't know. Maybe.
I thought that was, I don't know. Let me know if that's a thing.
So,
If not, it sounds pretty cool.
I mean, I could see that in like a cartoon. I don't know if you could actually do that in real life, but you know what I mean?
Well, it would essentially just be ripping out your esophagus.
Yeah.
Not even.
It's possible, I guess.
I don't.
So either way, he's saying he's talking reckless, but it's a strong astute, meaning that's what he does best, right? But then he does a play on the word suit with necktie. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So it's like a
So
suit scheme.
yes, he said, but you could get my Colombian necktie, so you know. Then he continues, prostitute, just climb in the Humvee and let's ride. Why you hitching at night? I put an end to your life. Sex crime. Okay, so then we just go into this thing where there's a prostitute hitchhiking and he gets her in and kills her and commits a sex crime. Then he says, kidding aside, insidious vibe, which is so funny. Then he says, girl, you know you got the prettiest eyes, but all you're getting is bribed. Any old lie to try to get you inside. Then we gonna end up spending the night. So he's continuing this scheme with this prostitute.
Yeah.
And I'm skinning your hide like an Indian tribe.
Nice.
So I read somewhere, it might have been on Lyric Genius, I forget where, that your hide an Indian tribe is a shot at the Migos, because in like one of their music videos they were wearing like hides or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he kind of raps like them here too.
Interesting.
Yeah, so and then he continues the scheme. I love the way he changes. He goes, what kind of nut drives this part here? He says, what kind of nut drives a Budweiser truck, finds a slut, tries to surprise her, cuffs, ties her up, binds up, cuts, slices her twice. So he's doing
So
all
this
this.
was all done to try to surprise her.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, surprise.
Yes. And then he says, but the muff diver must just like it rough. So I guess he's calling himself a muff diver.
I think so.
Which is funny. And then he says, fuck right in her vagina. Blood. So it's not clear if the blood's coming from the sex or he's like
Well, he
stabbing
sliced
her.
her up, right?
Yeah.
So
either way, he's saying blood flies up on the visor like a geyser.
like,
Yeah, so he's like killing her. And then he says, then you hear music, please. Then he says, enthusiast of the roofie. Goal is to get a floozy inside the jacuzzi and have a loosey goosey as Cool C is with an Uzi. Okay, so
I get the first parts.
yes, that's self-explanatory. So Cool C was a rapper from the 80s who I think is in prison or was in prison. He killed like a cop,
Okay.
right? So as loosey goosey as Cool C, so obviously he's loose with the gun if he killed a cop, right? So, but the line with Uzi is a subtle shot at Lil Uzi Vert, who has a line about the jacuzzi, loosey goosey kind of thing.
Interesting.
Let me actually see. Because I have Lyric Genius open. I want to see if they have the annotation on this. Okay. Oh, on Bad and Bougie. He says, go to sleep in a jacuzzi, yeah. Waking up right to a two-piece, yeah. Counting that paper like loose leaf, yeah. So that's what Lil Uzi Vert says with the jacuzzi. So
Interesting.
Eminem does this cool thing where he's kind of imitating the jacuzzi scheme, obviously doing some wild shit, and then introducing the loosey goosey as the guy with the gun, but then the Uzi is like a double entendre.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a little shot without actually
It's
taking
subtle.
a shot.
And then he says, but I am to rap what blue jeans mean to Bruce Springsteen.
So
which
like
is funny.
everything.
Yeah, that like famous album. Was it
Born
Born
in
in the
the
USA?
USA?
I don't know if it was I don't know if it was the single or the
He's
album.
got like the
jeans.
flag in his back pocket,
Something
right?
like that. Yeah. And then he says, glued we be. So Bruce Springsteen is glued to blue jeans as Eminem is glued to rap. Then he says, I'm True TV, you're 2PG. So True TV has like all the court cases of wild shit and he's real, right? And then you're 2PG, you're just, you're unoffensive, you're, child friendly. Okay, this is the part that I need to see if I can find the reference
Yeah, I
to.
don't
He
know.
says, I'm Schooly D, you're Spoony G. Okay, so these are two rappers. I do know that from, I guess, the 80s. Now let me see. Um, yeah, because these names, like, no disrespect, mean nothing to me.
I'm not familiar with them, and I don't know if he's saying them in a different way. Like, I don't know if it's school D or like schooly. You know
So
what
I,
I mean?
you
Like,
know,
I
I
don't know if
do.
it's supposed to be like an E or if it just works with TV.
Yeah, and of course, now that I need
I'll
to look
do it.
this
I'll
up,
do it.
my phone's like
Schooly
freezing up.
D.
Well, see if you could get the annotation specifically on this.
Oh, that is literally his name.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I said they're both rappers.
Oh, okay.
So go see if you could pull up the lyrics, Chloraseptic, the original, and pull up the annotation. I don't know why my phone's like frozen right now. It's very odd. Third verse. There we go. I'm Schooly D, you're Spoony G.
So Eminem's addressing mumble rappers again. He's comparing the difference between him and them to be that between oh, whoopsies. He also makes reference to early rappers Schooly D and Spoony G, so those are their real names. In 1984, Schooly D was accused of copying Spoonie's style upon releasing PSK What Does It Mean? As the song was similar to Spoonie's Love Rap. Years later, Schooly ended up being arguably the most successful artist between the two. Since, for a big part of this verse, Eminem copies the flow of mumble rappers and then compares himself to Schooly D, these lines serve as a metaphor to point out how Eminem is better than them at their own game.
Oh,
That's a great. You want more?
that
I'll give
the
you
next
more.
paragraph was interesting. Just this one.
What? This one?
No, no, above it.
It's also worth noting that the first verses in both PSK's What Does It Mean and Love Rap are about driving a car and picking up a passing girl, which ties with what Eminem says a few lines above.
That's interesting.
With the what kind of nut drives a Budweiser truck.
So I never would have picked that up.
No,
That's
me
just
neither. We
not
don't
some.
know anything about them. We weren't born in well, you were born in the 80s, but like the end of the 80s.
Yeah, but it's weird because I know about like Cool Mo D and like Grandmaster Flash and the Sugar Hill Gang, like those guys. I'm ignorant of. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I've never heard Schooly D or Spoony G, obviously, but I have heard of those that you mentioned, but I
Yeah,
don't know anything about them except for their names.
yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so and then it is interesting that that both of Schooly D and Spoonie G's hit songs that were referenced here, the which one was accused of copying the other style, but both of them are about picking up a girl in a car, which is what Eminem was
Yeah.
doing. So that's crazy. He set the reference back all the way before he mentioned them. And then he says, no diss there, just notice there. So I guess he's saying he's not dissing Spoonie G or Schooly D, right?
Yeah, no, he's just noticing how how the
Differences.
experience he has with him and all of mumble rap is that he's doing what they're doing, but he's doing it later and better.
Yes. And then he says, okay, just notice there are no similarities that we share besides the fact we breathe air. That's very funny. Besides the fact, oh, sorry, I read that. Happily married to rap, and I'm glad that we buried the hatchet and patched it up. Now I'm back to ratchet up my attack, and I'm at your motherfucking throat like, and it goes in the chorus. So it's a cool little scheme here where he says, so obviously he's saying he's still married with rap. He obviously had some issues with it, but now he's happy.
Yeah.
But he does like the buried the hatchet, and so hatchet, ratchet, attack. You know what I mean? And then the attack goes back to that scheme with the prostitute earlier in the verse. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. And then
There's just the
that's
chorus and
it.
stuff.
Yeah. And then he does, we already covered all this. All right. So, Chloraseptic.
So I do know this song. You had shown it to me when it first came out, way obviously way before we ever started doing videos.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really good. I feel like the last song we did and this song I've actually like not picked up on the double entendres for like the first time where I'm just like completely missing them and then I'm like, "Oh wow, like it's gotten more complicated, which is good." Like I remember in Eminem's older music, like he was pointing out the double entendres he was making after he was doing them, which like I can totally understand why he would do that, just hoping that it wouldn't go over someone's head, but like
Yeah.
allowing it to go over people's heads is I like that better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And it's interesting. It's because he's rapping in the modern day,
Yeah.
mumble rap style. So that kind of you can kind of see what he's talking about. It's so interesting that he's mocking them, but he's doing it the way they do it. But he's like, I'm better than you at it. Like it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great song. As I said, I'm way more familiar with. I mean, obviously I know this, but I'm way more familiar with the remix,
You're
which
familiar.
yes, with Two Chains, who I'm not a big fan of Two Chains, but Two Chains is fucking incredible on that remix. Yeah. So yeah, I love this song. It's crazy. Like so far, I like all the songs on this album, like a lot.
But you still have a bad impression of the album
It's like
overall?
not so. It's my least favorite of Eminem's albums. So that's like the context. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like as the album as a whole.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, Walk on Water out of the three songs are probably my least favorite. But once we listen to it again, I'm like, this is actually like
Yeah,
a
it's
good
not
song.
bad. I wouldn't listen to it again just because it's not my thing, but it's good. It's really good.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
All
So the
right.
song's really great.
Yes.
I now understand it more than just calling it the throat spray song.
Yeah, it's
But it
funny
was really, really good.
for sure.
Yeah, so definitely check out Carnivore Snacks, Chomps, SeatGeek, our Amazon storefront, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye bye.